This new Zexal deck puts up an impressive field turn 1, and even has decent tools for going second as well. This deck has a really good 1-card combo, where drawing one of its 10 main engine cards gives you a board of 5 very good interruptions. Hello, I hope you're having a perfectly balanced day. Today's video will demonstrate how to build the deck, followed by some gameplay. For more content on the TCG, Duel Links and Master Duel, consider pressing the big red button and leaving a comment down below. But with no further ado, enjoy! Due to how many different cards Zexal Utopia can search, you could build this deck with a much larger engine by including some of these other archetypes. However, I've chosen to play a much more condensed list, using only the Zexal servers and Zexal weapons. The reason for this is that the skill makes it so that this is all we need. The skill has 2 effects, and both can be used twice, which means that you have a fairly decent follow-up. Activated by shuffling a card back, first effect is to reveal a Zexal server or Zexal Utopia to then add 2 servers or Zexal Utopia from your deck to your hand. This means that simply drawing Ascended Sage, Armored Sage, or Zexal Utopia by itself is full combo, which is why I'm playing 3 of each to maximise the odds of seeing one, in addition to playing Rota for a 10th starter. For the second part of the skill, by using Plot Armor, you shuffle a card back and transform any card in your hand into Rank Up Magic Numeron Force, and then spawn a Utopia from outside your deck. I play 1 Rank Up Magic in the main deck to search with Ascendant. Even though we already have infinite access to it, I play Numeron Force in the main deck because it's a really good way to deal with all of your opponent's face-up cards at once. The other Zexal server searches for a Zexal weapon, and since Ultimate Leo also equips them, I play 2 in the main deck and 1 in the extra deck. These cards are not good to draw, so any more than 2 in the main deck with a lower deck count would be a bit sketchy. The Twin Saber is standard because it is a monster negate, and while the effect of Unicorn Spear can be good against Shadow, I mainly chose this one because it's level 4. In the combos where you only open up one of these and no other monsters, you need a level 4 weapon to search off of the Armor Sage, to then normal summon next to the Zexal Utopia, and then you make either Dweller, or you make Utopia Rising to make a second Ultimate Leo. I'm not playing any monsters to search with Zexal Utopia, just 1 spell and 1 trap. The trap, Numbers Protection, is crazy, as it just negates anything, and Import is a good utility option to search going second, or if you already have Numbers Protection. It's also a great way to deal with Winder. Going into this new meta, I think you want to be heavily taking Shadow into consideration when building your deck, and this is the result of the 6 tech cards that I have in the main deck. The Schism is the main challenge for this deck to overcome, and DD Crow will stop them from adding it from grave to hand. Since our deck is already good going first, I play 3 Cosmic to help going second. One of the main things that hurts you going second into Shadow is them going Schism into Construct, because if they do this in response to your rank up spell, they can then send your light monster to the graveyard, and your rank up spell will resolve with no effect. The Cosmic Cyclone banishing the card is better than MST, because they cannot recur the lost card. It is also better against Resonator, because they cannot protect with Soul. I chose to play 22 cards over 20, because we have a few awkward draws, and I wanted to play 6 tech cards in 22 over 4 tech cards in 20. That might sound like I'm just talking nonsense, but there is maths behind it. Take a look at this. By adding 2 more non-engine cards into our deck, we only lose 3% in consistency. But on the other hand, the odds of us drawing a tech card increases by 12%, and that's why it's worth it. With both maths and reasoning, there's a lot more to competitive deck building in Yu-Gi-Oh! Than people realise. Enjoy the gameplay. When you draw one of your 10 starter cards, you have the option to do the regular combo or the full combo. The full combo takes almost your entire hand, but it makes a pretty pretty good board in exchange. The board is quite hard to beat, and that's what I'm going to be showcasing in this replay here. So we're going to Zexal Morph to then add the missing pieces. We already have 2 pieces, but it doesn't really make a difference. 1 piece or 2 pieces, it's always full combo as long as you have 1 of those key level 4s. Now the difference here to what would be a normal combo is we're going to begin by doing the Utopia part of the skill first to make a Ultimate Leo. And we have to do this first before we do the Utopia double play, because if we do the other way around, then we end up negating our own Ultimate Leo, the first one that is, with the second one from a Numeron Force. So we're doing it in this order here. Now I'm going up into another Utopia, into double. We're going to get some searches, we're going to be able to add a rank up spell to our hand, and be able to add a Zexal weapon to our hand. And as you will see, this is why it's important to play a level 4 Zexal weapon. Now we have a second Ultimate Leo. We can equip them with our weapons, and you can also play the Tornado Bringer as well to prevent one of these from targeting. I choose not to because I'm only playing 22 cards and I don't want to play 3 Zexal weapons in the main deck. You could play the Tornado over this one instead, but I think I prefer having the extra Monster Negate because you can use this as an extra interruption if you get hit by a big droplet. So we grab the Counter Trap, make Dweller, and there you go. This is the full combo that you get from just having any Zexal weapon, but the difference to the normal combo is it takes up 2 more cards in your hand because you have to use the Utopia part of the skill to shuffle a card back and turn a card in your hand into that first Numeron Force. So if you open up tech cards, you wouldn't want to do this full combo, you'd rather just make 1 Ultimate Leo, 1 Dweller, or make 2 Ultimate Leo, and then set your tech card. But I believe this is the best play to make when you have a full engine hand. There's also the argument to try and squeeze in a giant hand as well, so that if you face a deck where Dweller isn't good, then you can simply end on giant hand, 2 Leo, and then you have 4 Monster Negates. But I think even in that scenario, you would probably want to just keep those extra cards for follow-up, and not use your entire hand to make a giant hand. But the benefit of this board is that it's really hard for them to remove everything and also beat the counter trap. Like, as you can see in this game here, they weren't able to super poly away enough because I had 2 Ultimate Leo. So that is a demonstration of how good the full combo is in this deck. So in that last replay we showed what the full combo is like. And what we have here is what you can do from also having 1 starter card, but it's a bit less, because if you open up a tech card, you won't want to really shuffle it back into the deck, and you might be just comfortable ending on Ultimate Leo plus Dweller, or 2 Ultimate Leo. I say just, but it is still a pretty good board. So here, for example, we draw 1 starter and 2 tech cards, so we put back our brick to the deck, Zexal Morph, and we then grab those missing 2 pieces, which are the additional 2 servers in this case. Summon the 2 servers, and we can go rank up into double. Grab a Unicorn Spear, grab a Numeron Force. So it's not too relevant here because Tri-Brigade cannot play Nibiru, but I did it anyway to showcase this play into Nibiru. And what this is that before you make your 5th summon, being the Ultimate Leo, you summon the Astral Utopia as summon 4, and do the effect of grab the counter trap. The reason is because then this way, you can go double effect now into the Ultimate Leo, and then if you see a delay in hand on Nibiru, you can go set 1, then go end of main phase. They either nib you there, and then if they Nibiru you there, you can choose to stay in main phase, and then do the other part of the skill to set up another Leo with the Utopia and the rank up spell from a skill, or they choose to not use Nibiru and it's the same end board either way. So I believe this is the best play to make to avoid getting Nibirus, as it doesn't really change your combo either way, it's just a good precaution to make by having that searched numbers protection before you make your 5th summon. Because otherwise, the Astral Utopia will be summoned 5, and they can then use Nibiru there, and you won't get the search for the counter trap before you get Nibirus. So at this point I make Dweller because I'm playing against a deck where Dweller is good. However, if I was playing against a deck where Dweller wasn't good, I would have instead gone through the line where I make the Ultimate Leo VV rank up spell first, and then use double to make a second Leo afterwards. Because otherwise you end up negating your own Leo if you don't do the double afterwards. Go Fractal, dump, pick a Novel, go Leo with the negates. You go Keros. I choose not to crow here because if I crow a name, they can just go link 1 and then have 2 names in grave anyway. Go Effect, I go Counter Trap, and then now we don't have enough to really push into this. And there we go, GG. That is an example of the more regular combo. If you draw a tech card and don't want to use your entire hand, that ends on the Ultimate Leo and either a second Leo or a Dweller, depending on the matchup. This is against the Invoked Fluid deck, which will still be a fairly popular deck, though I think that Invoked will find a perhaps more common place in Shadow, although I think that a vast majority of Shadow builds will not play the Alistair engine. At least not for the time being. They're also playing a very shiny deck as well. Almost all of their cards in Chronicle. I'm not sure why they used Small World here. I think that doing it at the end of a turn to grab a hand trap would have been a bit better, but I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Go Charge Warrior, Synchron, get Bolt from deck and draw a card. You make Black Rose. I assume that they're trying to make a Crystal Wing here, so I used Crow on the bulb. They then go into Caligar, and then set 1 and pass turn after adding back Alistair to the hand. So Caligar's a pretty scary card, only get 1 effect per turn, but the skill deals with any face-up lingering effects quite easily. Lingering isn't the right word, you don't really deal with Dweller, but Dweller isn't really an issue for this deck anyway. But what I meant was cards like Kaliga or Winder, you can deal with by using the rank up spell. Okay, summon, then do the skill, because we have to do this afterwards, because if we do this first, then we wouldn't have an empty field, so we wouldn't be able to summon these 2 from our hand. Summon, and then the Numeron Force negates all other face-up cards on the field. It's also worth mentioning that this will not affect your own level 4s after you Xyz, because they become new cards once they are a overlay material. And there we go. Thank you for watching, hopefully you enjoyed this video and or found it useful. To catch games like this live, you can go into the Discord and look at the upcoming live stream channel, and there you can find when the next stream is going to be. But yeah, thank you all, have a perfectly balanced rest of your day, and adios.